Hello everyone, in this video I'll be covering the new Dragon's Dogma title update, which is patch 2.01, giving us lots of new things such as a port crystal to Bakhbatal, which was definitely muchly needed in the base game, and we also get the armor to make ourselves look like John Dragon's Dogma, so that armor that you see on the cover of the game we now will get in-game, as well as some other changes which will help out with performance and a variety of different things. So I'll be covering all the patch notes here, as there's a ton of new changes that I'll be talking about there. We just slayed a dragon, but they also added in a casual mode. That is one of the biggest things that people have been talking about today. Now, as far as a casual mode goes, this doesn't change the damage or anything related to attacking. Not that that needed it. We actually needed a hard mode for this game, and I'm a little bit sad that we don't have this, but maybe this is a sign we will get a hard mode at a future date, because this game definitely needs it. It's not that hard. Once you hit like level 17, everything is really easy to take out. So we got ourselves that casual mode, which includes reducing the inn fees for staying at an inn. We also have reduced price for fairy stones, which is super useful because you do have to use fairy stones quite frequently, as there's no fast travel. That's the only option. That's one of the biggest frustrations I have with this game, is you feel like you're stuck in different areas. It's more difficult for weight carry to become heavier or very heavy. Another frustration of mine is how slow you move when you get over encumbered, and how quick it is to become over encumbered. Less stamina expended with dashing outside of battle. This is the one I'm most excited for, because your stamina drains too quickly whenever you're running around outside of combat. So getting a fix for that is massive. The loss gauge will not increase when selecting load from last save after Arisen dies. And pawns will recover from Dragon's Blade without a devastating calamity occurring, even if the symptoms progress to the terminal stage. So previously the Dragon's Plague would end up like, it destroyed some people's cities because it just completely wrecks everything in its wake. So that has a change as well, which I think is a much welcome change. So as far as casual mode goes, it isn't really a casual mode. It's more so just reducing the cost of inns travel and making it so you can travel a little bit more frequently. So I recommend that everyone just play on casual mode, because you do lose the ability to get the final trophy in the game, unfortunately, or the final achievement in the game, depending on what you're playing on. That is the one big downside, but it's so frustrating, the cost of the fairy stones. It's frustrating how slow you move and how quickly your stamina draws out too, so seeing some changes there is really nice. Further fixes issues around CPU overload in certain areas, so we'll go to show off what this looks like, because in the major cities, I have a decent graphics card. This game actually forced me. I had a 3060 prior to this, and I could only get about 15 to 20 frames per second in cities when this game launched, so I was obviously disappointed with that. I had to upgrade my whole system. I have a 4070 now. We're sitting at like 100 plus frames per second, no problem here. So obviously a lot of changes. There's my old port crystal, because there previously was not one here. This city is damaged, so it does have a few changes, and unfortunately we won't get to see the true extent of what the performance is like, but people have been saying their performance is great. I read a ton of different reviews of people's experiences with this so far. From normally in the main city you would only get, I guess I can try to teleport there, the main city you could normally only get about 40 frames per second, and that has been increased upwards of 60 to 70. So people have been reporting that there's very nice changes here. So we'll use this, go back to Vernworth here, and just show off what it looks like there, because that is the main city that causes the issues in terms of CPU being overloaded, and reduce the frequency of crashes, even though I did have this game crash when I tried to load it up. Are we safe here? I guess we're not going to see very many NPCs, unfortunately, so I did beat the game, and this causes some very ill effects. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know what's going to happen in here, so it doesn't seem like we're having very many issues with the overall performance, which is nice. So that's one thing that's going well. But there are a bunch of balance patches as well. Added various animations for the Pawn's idle animations. Added the Sovereign's Crowd, Sovereign's Play, and Sovereign's Greaves to the list of items that we can trade with the Dragon Forge. So this gives us the option to get the base or the cover armor. Added animations for Pawns and when the Arisen starts dashing. And added animations for the Arisen is riding at a larger enemy and flying at high speeds. So I guess a little bit of an animation change there, maybe. To make it so the main pawn can be revived an infinite number of times at Forgotten Riftstones. Added Polish under display languages. But there's a bunch of changes to the Vocation. So the fighter gets increased strength for all weapons, reduces the amount of time before stagger damage reactions can be cancelled with defend, reduces the charge time for Tusk Toss, So I've looked over this, mostly buffs, so increase the amount of time an enemy is down after being knocked down. The fighter's biggest benefit is being able to knock characters prone, and this is nice buffs to that, and also increasing the aiming ability of some of the attacks, like Blink Strike, increased strength, expanding attack range. That's one of the frustrating parts about playing as a fighter is your attack ranges, they have to land because you're so slow at attacking. If you miss, it's game over. You're pretty screwed. So I play as a thief here, and I have a mage, a fighter, and a warrior there. I found that to be a pretty good mix of classes, but the fighter got the most benefits there. The warrior getting extended input for Chain of Blows, reduce the timing with barge can be cancelled, increasing strength for Archimite. So overall buffs across the plate for both the fighter and the warrior there. The archer has reduced charge time and increased strength and knockdown power for the dire arrow. The archer is a lot of fun. I recommend playing as an archer or a thief when you're playing this game as yourself because you can aim better than the characters can. And as a thief, you also get some really nice stabbing attacks for beating bosses down. Reduces the weight of items, exploding arrows, increases damage scaling for bow attacks. The archer did feel a bit weak compared to like the mystic or the other archer subclass. So mage gets increased duration of silence, distance that flames can be thrown. Basically buffs across the yard there. All the classes seemingly got buffs, which is nice. So my health is slowly draining there, unfortunately. Thief, changing stamina consumed when using the Blades of Pyre from a fixed amount to an amount proportional to the user's maximum stamina. So one small change to the Thief. And Mystic Spearhand, increasing strength and knockdown power of Setching Blade. I like the Mystic Spearhand. That was the other class I played a bunch in this game. Both of them, the Thief or the Mystic Spearhand, being great subclasses. Everyone's hurting here. Player fixes, so fix an issue when readying and firing the magic bow as a magic archer. Readying the bow again results in awkward camera movement. So basically across the board, it's just fixing a lot of awkward issues that were causing like weird camera angles. There's a bunch here for pawns. Pawns have a really weird AI where I've had mine just fall to their death many times. So they did fix that over a few patches in previous patches, making them not be so stupid and not end up dying all the time, like falling off cliffs and everything. So really nice to see that they're updating the Pawns AI and just the way that they move and play throughout the game, because there's lots of issues with that in my playthroughs, and I just felt like there's been much better AI in other games, and this one it's meant to be played around your party, so having your party just react really poorly just wasn't awesome. So seeing some changes there is really nice. Enemy NPCs get some benefits of reducing freezing and display issues for the most part. Enemies get issues fixed where their attacks wouldn't go proper and they would lose the attack timing. I was read through all these here, so mostly for liches and dragons, although there's not that many enemy attack or enemy types in this game, so not a lot of changes can be made there. I wish this game had a lot more enemy types. It would make this game a lot more fun, because the original Dragon's Dogma Darkness Arisen has a lot more options for things you can fight, which I just prefer. Quests, so fix some quest issues, loading from last save. Gimmicks, fixed issue where coffin enemies are supposed to come out, or if they're open from the start, and fix an issue where ballistae would clip through other objects. So that's the big shooting things. You used to be able to clip through walls with that, kind of funny. Fix some UI, fix some sound, and other fixes here. Fix issue when enabling DLSS frame generation, causing temporary lag when on exiting the pause menu. So frame rates in areas with lots of NPCs such as town centers should be improved, and that's really the biggest change here. I guess we'll just run around, and all these people are hating on me because I'm the Arisen. So yeah, we're seeing about 95 frames per second here on a 4070. Previously, this area on a 4070 would get me about probably, I wouldn't hit 60 consistently. There'd be a lot of dips, although there is some changes here to the map. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that is not a full representation of it, because we do have some changes there, but still a little jank, as you can see. That's just the nature of this game. But we're having less, I guess, we're having over 100 frames per second here now with a few NPCs on the screen. Any game with a lot of NPCs is usually bound by the CPU, so seeing this increased and not be so janky is really nice, because that's one of the biggest frustrations I had with this game. I did a video previously on this talking about how rough it was to be able to play this game. There's a bunch of enemies in town. That's funny, but yeah, seems like performance across the board is improved. should have been the state the game released in. They probably could have benefited from waiting to release this because a lot of people forgot about this game. But am I going to revisit Dragon's Dogma 2? Maybe, maybe not. I like the performance increases, but I wish that there was an easier way to just teleport around. Like, it's not fun to... I know the world isn't as big as some other games, but having to run everywhere or use ox carts and then sometimes fairy stones is kind of frustrating, but it's an interesting game. Just want to give my thoughts on this new update for patch 2.01, the title update. So yeah, that is that for Dragon's Dogma 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this game, if you haven't played this game, what your thoughts are on it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Hit that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching.